Hello everybody, my name is Zool, and welcome to modding Skyrim. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at a mod that changes shouting and adds a whole bunch of new mechanics based around that. This is Thunderchild, Epic Shouts, and Immersion. So let's talk the features of this mod right off the bat, because there is a whole lot of them. So the first thing you're going to notice is there's 29 brand new shouts, all with differing multiple effects. You have completely new shouts, and you have shouts that are kind of similar to stuff that you have, but just different in a little bit of a different way. I'm not going to list all the shouts. You can go ahead and check them out at the mod page, or just go ahead and download the mod for yourself and check them out. This mod also features something known as the Tests of Faith. This is all built into a mechanic to build your shouts and kind of level up as a tongue or a user of the thum. It adds this whole mechanic where you have to do these trials in order to advance further in reverence to Kine, which I think is a pretty cool way of doing it. The abilities are a little bit more fun or more effective in combat, because a lot of the vanilla shouts are either really boring and basic or they kind of suck. Kine's Peace? Yeah, that's kind of not the best shout in the whole world. This mod also adds a new location, the High Hrothgar Library, which includes an area for the Dovahkiin to stay, as well as a shrine and several other things there. There may be a few secrets, so it's worth exploring the area when you get there. The mod also adds 24 variants of Greybeard robes based on a high-quality custom model. All of these robes are different colors, they look just like the Greybeard robes, and you can pretty much wear whatever you want. They look absolutely amazing. Finally, there are several new weapons and items, a ton of bug fixes, and 23 pillars of the voice that you can go to that are all around Skyrim and Solstheim for you to explore and sort of gain reverence to Kine and level up in the mechanics of this mod. But don't just take my word for it, let's go ahead and look at some in-game footage and talk about it there. Most of your reverence to Kine and pretty much all of the beginnings of this mod have to be done at the High Hrothgar Library. This can be found by hanging a right before the back exit that takes you out to the courtyard in the back. One of the most prominent features here is the statue of Talos, using a custom sword-wielding model, which I really do like, that has the Amulet of Mantras at its feet. Mantras are a new thing that are added by this mod that allow you to sort of chain shouts together. Basically, you equip shouts, and then you go up to this shrine, and you can create a mantra chain. To use the mantra chain, you equip it, and it will cast the shouts in order. So for example, you can use Slow Time, and then you can immediately follow that up by Whirlwind Sprint. It's a good way to change up combat, and it adds a lot more variety to shout-based combat. So if you ever wanted to have a Dragonborn-based character who relies very heavily on his shouts, this is definitely the mod for you. But speaking of shouts, how do you unlock the new shouts? Well, you have to begin by doing the first test to Kine, which is the meditation minigame. In this sequence, you watch your stamina decline, and then you have to try and mentally time it out since it hides your UI, and stop the animation within the last 20% of your stamina bar. It may take a few tries, and if you get it wrong too often, you might end up having to face the ungrateful spirit of Kine, who is not too happy with your failed reverence and patience. However, if you succeed, you will unlock the new meaning to the words in your shouts. This is what the mod is based around, having each word that you've already learned having multiple meanings. For example, the word force in Unrelenting Force could also be combined with other words in order to cause an earthquake, lifting up the earth. This allows the mod to have the fully voiced shouts, but just puts the words together in a different order. If you continue your reverence to Kine, you will be able to unlock more meanings to these words and expand all of your shouts. This is a really cool way of implementing things because it allows the mod author to add a lot of new shouts without having to, voice act or have weird silent shouts, and each shout kind of has a lore reason for existing. It adds a lot to the mythos of the thum, and I hugely approve. Speaking of Mythos of the Thum, there is a journal here speaking of a whole bunch of different Thums and the lore behind them. I would recommend you give this a good read if you are a loremonger. There is such a huge attention to detail in this book, it is unbelievable. It details every single new shout that you can get, has all of the words that you're going to need to learn, and it sort of shows you the meanings behind the word. It's a really cool lore edition for people like me who really like that kind of thing, and it makes the mod feel a whole lot more immersive. But that's not all this mod adds. It also adds a whole bunch of new items. Some of them are hidden around in the library, and you'll have to discover where they are on your own, but there is a large series of graybeard robes that are just sitting there in some dressers. They are based on a unique, high-quality, high-resolution model, and they look absolutely fantastic. You can get them in pretty much any color you desire, and there's actually several unlockable robes that you can only get after completing several tests of favor to Kine. These are different quests you have to do wandering around Skyrim, and they're pretty cool. Some of them have you climbing up to the top of mountains, whereas others have you trying to race to the top of High Hrothgar as fast as you can, or simply shouting to the sky every day. Some of these challenges may sound very easy, however, it's the last few steps that count. Sometimes the end of the journey is the most difficult. Go ahead and check out this mod. I really enjoyed my last playthrough of Skyrim where I used this mod very heavily, and I have to give it a huge recommendation to anybody who wants to play a shout-based Dragonborn character. Anyways, thank you very much for watching the video. I do appreciate it. Sorry for blathering on for such a long time. Please consider subscribing to my channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you very much. I love making these videos. It's a lot of fun, but I couldn't do it without your support. Anyways, that's about all the time I have, so I will let you go. I have been Zool. Have an excellent day, and have fun.